This story is about a very serious claim. A leader from Israel made this claim. The claim is about President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump is the current president of the United States. This is real. The leader of Israel said something shocking. He said that another country tried to kill President Trump. He said that Iran tried to kill President Trump. This claim is very important. Israel and Iran are countries in the Middle East. The United States is also involved in this area. For many years, these countries have had problems. They do not trust each other. They are often enemies. When a leader says that one country tried to kill another country's president, it makes things worse. It creates high tension. Tension means that countries are angry and worried. They might fight. This claim made the tension between Iran, Israel, and the United States very high. It is important to understand what happened. Did Iran really try to kill President Trump? What does this mean for the countries involved? What does it mean for the world? This story will explore these questions. It will look at the claim made by Israel's leader. It will look at what President Trump said about threats to his life. It will look at the long history of problems between these countries. We will try to find out if there is proof for the claim. We will see what other countries think. We will also think about why the claim was made at a specific time. Finally, we will think about what might happen next because of this claim and the high tension. Understanding this situation is important. It shows how words from leaders can affect the peace and safety of the world. It is a story about claims, tension, and the search for truth in a difficult part of the world. This first chapter is just the start of looking at this serious matter. 2. The Big Claim. Israel's leader, Prime Minister Netanyahu, went on television to speak. He appeared on different TV channels, including Fox News and ABC News. He talked mainly about Iran. Prime Minister Netanyahu made a very big claim. He said that Iran had planned to kill President Donald Trump. He said Iran saw President Trump as a threat. According to Netanyahu, Iran actively worked to try and assassinate him. Netanyahu stated that Iran tried to do this not just once, but 2 times. He said these attempts happened during President Trump's time campaigning for president in the year 2024. Netanyahu explained how Iran tried to carry out these plans. He said Iran did not try to kill President Trump directly. Instead, he claimed Iran used other groups or people to help them. These are often called proxies. He told the interviewers that Iran worked through proxies to make these attempts. During these television interviews, Prime Minister Netanyahu used strong words to describe Iran. He called Iran enemy number 1. He said very clearly, they want to kill him. Netanyahu said that Iran is an enemy to both Israel and the United States. He said that the government in Iran hates both countries and is trying to assassinate leaders from both. He pointed out that in Iran, people often shout, "Death to Israel, death to America." He stressed that these chants show Iran's real bad intentions and that the world cannot let such things happen. These claims from Prime Minister Netanyahu came at a time of new and serious fighting between Israel and Iran. Just before he spoke, Israel had launched attacks on sites in Iran. These attacks were different because Israel said it was the first time they openly announced strikes on Iran's nuclear and missile sites. After Israel's actions, Iran quickly responded. Iran fired many drones and missiles back towards Israel. This showed how high the tensions were. Prime Minister Netanyahu's interviews were his first big talks after these attacks. By making this claim about Iran trying to kill President Trump, Netanyahu linked the recent fighting to a threat against the United States. He presented Iran as a big danger that both Israel and America face together. He called the fight against Iran a fight for survival. He warned about the danger of Iran getting nuclear weapons, using the words nuclear holocaust. He said Israel would not let itself be a victim of a second Holocaust. Netanyahu presented President Trump's safety as part of this bigger fight against Iran's leadership. His words reinforced the idea that Iran is a major enemy and that Israel and the U.S. must stand together against it. This message was shared right after the countries attacked each other, making the Prime Minister's claims very significant in the current difficult situation. 3. Trump's fear. President Donald Trump has also spoken about dangers to his life. He talked about this before Israel's leader made his claims about Iran. Back in September of 2024, Mr. Trump spoke at a large meeting in North Carolina. He told the people there that officials from the United States government had told him about threats. These were serious threats, he said, and they were from Iran. U.S. officials had given him a briefing about real and specific threats from Iran to kill him. Mr. Trump said that there had been 2 times when someone tried to kill him. He said this happened during his campaign for president. He mentioned that Iran might be involved in these attempts. He said, "There have been 2 assassination attempts on my life that we know of," adding they may or not involve, possibly, Iran. But he also said he was not completely sure about that connection at the time. He sent a strong warning to Iran and any other country. Mr. Trump said that if any country tried to do this, there would be very big consequences. He used strong words to describe the powerful action the United States would take. He cautioned that any country doing so gets blown to smithereens. Later, in February of 2025, President Trump spoke about it again at a public event. He said he had given instructions to his advisors and helpers. He told them clearly that if Iran tried to kill him, the United States should respond very strongly. He used a very strong word, obliterated, to describe the punishment for Iran. He said he had left instructions to respond against Iran if it tried to kill him. It is important to know that when Mr. Trump talked about these attempts, U.S. officials did not publicly say that Iran was involved in the specific shootings he mentioned. News reports at that time mentioned the two shooting events that happened in July and September of 2024. Officials from the FBI, which is the main police agency in the United States, looked into these events carefully. They checked information, including the telephones of the men who did the shooting. They did not find any proof or links to other countries. The FBI said there was no indication that a foreign country was helping these men in those incidents. An official from the Justice Department also said something similar. They said there was no suggestion by law enforcement of involvement by Iran or any other foreign power in those specific shootings. So, at that time, even though President Trump talked about possible involvement from Iran regarding attempts on his life, the public information from U.S. authorities treated the shootings as actions by individuals in the United States. These individuals were seen as acting alone, not connected to a government from another country. These statements from President Trump showed that he was already thinking about threats from Iran. His words were serious warnings to Iran about what might happen if they took any action against him. His fear or concern about Iran was clear in his public speeches, even before other leaders spoke about it more recently. The situation was complex and there was uncertainty. President Trump believed there were threats and attempts possibly linked to Iran. But the official investigations that were publicly reported at the time did not find proof of Iran's government being behind those specific attacks that happened during his campaign. This difference in what was said and what was found by investigators is an important part of this story. 4. Old enemies. Iran and the United States have been enemies for a very long time. Their big problems started in 1979. In that year, a major change happened in Iran. The old ruler, called the Shah, left the country. A new government came to power that was not friendly to the United States. This change led to a serious situation where American people were held hostage in Iran. This difficult time lasted for 444 days, which is over 1 year. Since then, the relationship between the U.S. and Iran has been broken. They do not have normal ties and are often in conflict. Iran and Israel also have a long history of being enemies. Iran has never said that Israel is a real country. Leaders in Iran often speak very strongly against Israel. They say they want Israel to disappear. Israel sees Iran as a great danger. One big reason for this is Israel's worry that Iran wants to build nuclear weapons. Israel has sometimes acted in secret against Iran, like attacking places related to Iran's nuclear work. The fighting between Iran and Israel is not always secret. In recent years, the conflicts have become more open and direct. There was a time when Iran sent many missiles and drones directly towards Israel. Israel responded by attacking places in Iran. These countries also fight by supporting other groups in the region. These groups fight for Iran's side against Israel, like Hezbollah in Lebanon or groups in other countries. This makes the conflict spread to other areas and involves more people. Leaders on both sides use very strong and sometimes scary words about the other side. The leader of Israel has called Iran enemy number one. He says Iran is a big threat to his country and even to the whole world. He has also warned about the danger of Iran getting nuclear power, calling it a risk like a terrible war. Leaders in Iran also use strong words about the United States and Israel. They often shout slogans like "Death to Israel" and "Death to America" during big events. This shows how deep the dislike and anger are between them. They truly see each other as the main enemy. Understanding this long history of conflict is very important for the current situation. The deep lack of trust and the many years of fighting create a situation where any new claim, like a plan to kill a leader, is taken very seriously. The old anger and the ongoing fight between these countries affect many things that happen in the Middle East and around the world. They have been enemies for many decades. This long history shapes the tensions and makes the current situation very difficult and dangerous for everyone involved. Their problems started in the past and continue to cause serious issues today, making any interaction full of tension. 5. Finding the truth. The story is about claims Iran tried to kill President Donald Trump. Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel said this happened 2 times. Let's look closer at what happened in 2024. In 2024, there were 2 events where a person shot at Mr. Trump. The first shooting was in July 2024. It happened in a place called Butler, Pennsylvania. A man started shooting during a public meeting. Mr. Trump was safe. The man who shot was hurt and stopped by people protecting Mr. Trump. The second shooting was in September 2024. This happened in West Palm Beach, Florida. Again, a man fired shots. Mr. Trump was not injured in this event. The police quickly arrested the man who shot. After these 2 serious events, the police in the United States started important investigations. The main group that looked into this was the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI. They worked hard to understand everything about the shootings. The FBI and other U.S. officials studied the 2 men who shot. They checked many things, like where the men went and who they talked to. They wanted to see if these men were working for someone else, maybe a group or a country. What did the U.S. investigators find out? They said that the men who shot in Pennsylvania and Florida seemed to be lone actors. This means they seemed to act by themselves, without orders from others. The U.S. authorities said something very important. They did not find any evidence, any proof that Iran was involved in these two specific shootings. After their work, the evidence did not show a link to Iran or any other country in these attacks. Officials from the U.S. Justice Department also said law enforcement found no suggestion of Iran's involvement. So, for the two times when Mr. Trump was shot at, the U.S. government did not say Iran was behind them based on the evidence they found. However, there is another piece of information. The U.S. government did talk about a different possible plan. In November 2024, the U.S. Justice Department said they had charged a man named Farhad Shakeri. This man was described as an Iranian American living in Iran. The government said Mr. Shakeri was connected to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. This is a part of Iran's military and security forces. The charge against Mr. Shakeri was that in October 2024, officers from the IRGC told him to make a plan. The plan was to watch Mr. Trump closely and then kill him. Mr. Shakeri reportedly started working on this plan. He looked at places where Mr. Trump might be. But the U.S. authorities said this plan was discovered and stopped. It did not become an actual attack. The plan was thwarted, meaning it was prevented from happening. Mr. Shakeri is still not in the United States. He is believed to be in Iran. The government of Iran responded to these charges about Mr. Shakeri. Iran said the charges were false. They called the story about a plan to kill Mr. Trump ugly lies. Iran also said that Israel was making up these stories to cause more conflict. When people who check facts looked at Prime Minister Netanyahu's claim about Iran being behind the two actual shootings, they noted the lack of public evidence. No public information from U.S. intelligence or the FBI has supported the idea that Iran directed the shootings in Pennsylvania or Florida. The public evidence currently available shows U.S. investigators saw the actual shootings as acts by individuals, with no proven link to Iran. The only public case linking an Iranian person to a plot against Mr. Trump was the Shakeri plan, which was stopped before any attack happened. This means the claim that Iran was directly behind the two times Mr. Trump was shot at is not clear to the public based on official U.S. findings. 6. World listens. When Israel's prime minister spoke, many people in his country listened carefully. Many politicians and people in Israel supported his strong words against Iran. They agreed that Iran was a big problem. But the United States government did not say the same thing. U.S. officials did not confirm that Iran was truly behind any attempts to hurt President Trump. They said there was no public evidence showing this. U.S. officials asked for things to be calm in the area. They did not want more fighting. When news reporters asked U.S. intelligence people about the claims, they did not say it was true. White House officials also spoke. They said it was important not to make problems worse by saying things without proof. They meant that making claims without evidence could cause more tension. Other countries around the world also heard the news. They worried about the situation getting worse. More fighting between countries is dangerous for everyone. Leaders in Europe and other places asked Iran and Israel to stop and talk instead of fighting. They wanted peace. Iran's government had its own answer. They said that all of the claims made by Israel were not true. They called the claims lies and propaganda. This means they thought the claims were just stories made to cause trouble. So the world heard different things. Israel's leader made a serious claim about Iran trying to kill President Trump. Many in Israel believed him. But the United States did not confirm it, saying there was no public proof. Other countries felt worried and asked for calm. Iran said it was all false. The situation remained tense, with different countries seeing the truth in different ways. People wondered what would happen next after such big claims were made but not agreed upon by everyone, especially by the country whose leader was allegedly targeted. 7. Why now? Prime Minister Netanyahu made a big claim. He said Iran tried to kill President Donald Trump 2 times. People asked, why did he say this now? Why at this time? There could be many reasons for his words. One reason could be to get more support at home in Israel. Israel has had difficult times recently. Talking about a big enemy like Iran can make people feel united. It can make them support their leader more. By saying Iran tried to hurt President Trump, he shows that Israel and the United States have the same big problem. This might help unite people in Israel against this problem. Another reason might be about the United States. Prime Minister Netanyahu wants the United States to stay a strong friend and helper for Israel. President Trump is now the President of the United States. By saying Iran targeted President Trump, it could make the bond between Israel and the U.S. stronger. It shows that Iran is a danger to both countries. This could help Israel keep getting support from the U.S., maybe even more support for actions against Iran. The claim also helps explain why Israel has taken strong actions against Iran lately. If Iran is trying to kill leaders like President Trump, then maybe Israel's actions seem more necessary or right. It makes the fight against Iran look like a defense not just for Israel, but against a threat to other countries too. Some people think Iran really could plan such bad things. Iran has had problems with the United States and Israel for many years. There were reports of other plans by someone linked to Iran to hurt President Trump in the past, even if they did not happen. So some people find the idea believable. However, many others say there is still no clear public proof for these specific claims about two actual attempts. U.S. officials who looked into the shootings that happened said they did not find proof that Iran was involved. So, the claim is not accepted by everyone. Making such a serious claim also has risks. It can make things more tense between countries. It could make President Trump feel more strongly against Iran, which could lead to bigger problems or even fighting. Past warnings from President Trump said there would be very strong action if Iran tried to hurt him. So, these claims can make the situation more dangerous. In short, Prime Minister Netanyahu's claim seems to be for political reasons. It might be to gain more support in Israel, to make the friendship with the U.S. stronger, and to make actions against Iran seem more needed. But the public proof for these claims is still missing, according to U.S. officials. 8. What next? The story about Iran trying to kill President Donald Trump is very serious. It speaks about big problems between countries. Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel made a strong claim that Iran tried 2 times to kill the president. He said Iran used other groups to do it. This news came at a time of fighting between Israel and Iran. However, important officials in the United States have not said that these claims are true. U.S. police investigated the shootings that happened. They looked for proof that other countries were involved. But they said they did not find evidence that Iran was behind these specific events. The men who shot seemed to act alone. The U.S. government did say that an Iranian man was charged with planning to watch and kill President Trump. But this plan was stopped before it could happen. It was a different situation from the actual shootings. So, the public does not have clear proof from U.S. officials that Iran caused the 2 shootings that happened. U.S. government people have mainly asked for things to be calm in the Middle East. They have not confirmed Israel's claims in public. This whole situation shows how difficult and dangerous things are in the Middle East. Countries do not trust each other. Leaders say strong words. Accusations like this about trying to kill a president can make things much worse. They can increase anger and fear between nations. We will have to wait and see what happens next. Maybe more evidence will come out later about these claims. Maybe things will become calmer, or maybe tensions will grow higher. The future is not clear right now. The relationship between the United States and Iran and between Israel and Iran has been bad for many years. Can countries with such a long history of serious problems ever become friends?